Hello friends, and welcome back to another video from Homemaker. If you are looking for an easy to care indoor plant without toxicity, then this plant that's right in front of you is the right choice. This plant is called Peperomia Rana Verde. It's a popular semi-succulent hybrid plant with medium-sized thin ovate leaves that are green from the top and light green from the bottom. The leaf surface are matte and wrinkled with these prominent venations. As you can see, the prominent venations, and it has got the matte finish. They are sometimes they come into glossy look as well, but usually they are matte. The minimum care and attractive ripple foliage of this redar plant make it a perfect choice for your home and office. Not only this, it also adds class to your interior and also purify your indoor air. Interesting, right? The botanical name of this plant is Peperomia Albovittata Rana Verde, which is also known as many other names like ripple Chinese money plant, Chinese rubber plant, but I'm not actually sure why they call it Chinese, because it's not related to Chinese in any way. This plant is native to Central and South America, basically from Peru. And these are short plants and they don't usually grow more than 8 inches tall, but they grow wider. But like they spread, the stems and the leaves, they spread around, but they don't grow taller than 8 inches. The main stem of this plant can reach up to can give out at least 14 main branches, and also like 16 ovate leaves that are arranged on the soft branches. The flowers of this Peperomia albovittata are insignificant, and they're really tiny orange spike-like flowers that grow during the summers. These plants are non-toxic, as I told you before, so you can keep them safely anywhere in your house, around kids, pets. You don't need to worry about it because it's non-toxic. But yeah, obviously you need to keep an eye and make sure that your kids and your pets don't fiddle around with this plant. These plants are generally resistant to pests, but it's always a good idea to keep an eye on those mealybugs, on those nasty creatures like spider mites and white flies, etc. Now we'll talk about the water requirements of this plant. So like any other peperomia, as I said, it's a semi-succulent, so it can show the medium level of tolerance for drought, but however you should not expect it to tolerate water shortage like other succulents or cacti do. The best strategy is to water the plant thoroughly once the upper soil gets completely dry. You can water this plant twice or thrice in summer in a week, while once in 2 weeks in winters. And always avoid overwatering, because you know what happens if you overwater. Yes, the plant gets root rot and your plant will die. Regarding the lighting conditions, all peperomias, they love bright indirect sunlight. Direct sunlight exposure can cause the burn of these thin leaves of the plant, and to your surprise, this plant can also do well in the fluorescent light, like the normal indoor fluorescent light. These plants do really well. So that's why they are perfect for any indoor. You don't need to keep on shifting it outdoor, indoor, in a bright spot. They can do interestingly well in the inflorescent light as well. Basically, south, east or west facing windows will be the ideal indoor spot for these plants. Talking about the temperature conditions, so these are warmth loving plants, and therefore the temperature of the plant ranges from 18 to 24 degrees Celsius. But you must always make sure that keep the plant above the temperature, 10 degrees Celsius, not lower than 10 degrees Celsius, because they belong to Central and South America, where the temperatures are usually warm and humidity level is also high. So these plants are used to those types of temperatures. So if you provide them with that type of temperature, they'll flourish very well. Regarding humidity, so these plants usually do well in the average humidity as well. But if you feel that it's summer and your plant is getting dry very quickly, the leaves are getting dry, then you can mist the leaves with water as well. Regarding the soil conditions, Peperomia Rana Verde, they love to be in a well-draining, light soil, allowing plenty of aeration. I would recommend peat-based soil for these types of plants, with a ratio of 2:1, where 2:1 is peat and sand or perlite ratio. So that will be the best soil mix for these plants. And also make sure that you keep them in a non-glazed pot which has got big drainage holes in them, so that it allows evaporation or drainage of any of the excess water, because these plants, they love moist soil but not soggy wet soil. Regarding fertilization, so you can always use moderate to liquid fertilizer once in a month during spring and summer. You can use seaweed solution, dilute the seaweed solution and use it, or any other liquid indoor houseplant fertilizer you can use. But be careful when you are fertilizing any of your peperomias, because if the plant's leaves or stem, if they come into direct contact with the fertilizer, it can damage the leaves, it can damage the stem. So make sure when you are watering, you water from on the soil under here, not from the top. Like, the fertilizer should not come in contact with these beautiful leaves, because you don't want to spoil the beauty of these leaves by damaging them. I love these plants, so beautiful, so green, with these pink stems. I love them. Okay, regarding pruning, you can cut the lower branches to maintain the appearance of your plant, but do not over prune them, because these plants are very patient grower. So if you over prune them, then they'll take quite a while to grow those stem and leaves back. I would also suggest you to prune only in spring or summer, because if you prune that time, then they grow quite well. But if you prune in any other season, they might not do well, they might die, or it'll take very long for the plant to give out more new leaves and stem. I would also recommend you to keep the plant, the leaves, clean. Time to time, keep on cleaning the wrinkled leaf surface of these peperomias. This will not only help to maintain the beauty of your plant, but also help to keep the plant healthy, because you don't want to see your plant with all the dust sticking on them, like all the dust sticking on top of these beautiful leaves. This will take away the look of your plant. So just give them a wipe with the damp cloth, and that's it. They'll look beautiful, and they'll look healthy and nice. Regarding propagation, they are very easy, very, very easy to propagate. You can propagate them by the stem cutting. You can propagate them by leaf cutting as well. I have actually made a video on propagating Peperomia rosso. So you usually all the peperomias, you propagate them the same way. So if you haven't seen that video on propagation, I'll provide you with the link, and you can go back to the video and see what I've done with propagation. So all you do is take the stem cutting or take the leaf cutting, pop it in water. I would suggest putting them in water, because water propagation, you can see the roots developing, what's happening to the leaf. If you want to go with the soil propagation, if it works well with you, go with it. But I would suggest water propagation, and I've also done water propagation in my previous video. You can check that out, and you just pop them in, and maybe in 3 to 4 weeks you will see the roots coming out, and once the roots are well developed, you put it in soil, and that's how you propagate them. You can take the stem cutting, you can take the leaf cutting. So basically you take it from the base, like this is the main stem over here. So when I'm not doing it now because this plant is quite tiny, it's very small, but when it grows bigger, the stem will also definitely grow bigger. So then you can take the stem cutting. If you've got heaps of stems, you take one simple cutting, or if you want to take the leaf cutting, take it from the base of the leaf and pop it in water, and that's how you propagate. It's super simple. Please don't forget to check out the other video on the propagation of Peperomia rosa that I've done. It's basically the same for all peperomias, and that's it. So this was basically all about this beautiful plant. If you have any other information or questions regarding this plant, please leave the comment and I will get back to you. And I'll see you next time with another exciting video. Till then, bye bye.